Hello, hello, hello. I am so happy that you are here. I'm Giselle Shore. I'm an integrative health practitioner, personal trainer, nutrition coach, and women's hormone specialist. I've been helping women to feel better in their bodies, to lose weight, to improve their energy, to sleep better, to regain their bodies again for over 15 years now. And today, what I want to talk about specifically is something that I hear constantly from women in their 40s, their 50s, even in their late 30s. And honestly, it's something that I have personally lived through. Today, we're going to talk specifically about why perimenopause is waking you up in the middle of the night or causing you to have issues falling asleep. And I'm going to give you the 3-step hormone sleep stack to help you sleep through the night again. So let's dive into it. First, I want to start by asking you something. Does any of this sound familiar to you? First, you wake up 3 a.m., maybe between 1 and 3 a.m., wide awake. Maybe your heart starts racing, your mind spinning, you're running through your to-do list, you're exhausted, but your body thinks it's time to get up and go. Let's go. It's time to wake up. Does that sound familiar to you? Or maybe you actually fall asleep fine. That's not the problem. The problem is you wake up at 2 or 3 and you just cannot get back to sleep. No matter what you try, you finally get in and you get up around 4 a.m. Maybe again, you're falling asleep fine, but you're jolted awake, drenched in sweat for no reason. Then you're lying there freezing, waiting for the time to pass. Or maybe you're changing your sheets. I know for me, I'd have to get up and change my shirt in the middle of the night, wondering what on earth is happening to my body. Or you're exhausted all day, but the second your head hits the pillow, your brain turns on. This one makes zero sense. And it's one that I used to personally struggle with. I was so incredibly exhausted. I'd be ready for bed. I'd even be like falling asleep when I'm reading my book. And then all of a sudden, it's my brain won't stop. You're constantly running through your to-do list. You're wired when you should be sleeping and crashing when you need to function, completely backwards. Maybe, like I did, you tried melatonin. You've tried maybe magnesium. You heard that's going to help you to sleep better. You're trying to get into bed at the same time every night. Maybe you try to dim the lights, drink chamomile tea, but you're still waking up or you're still having a hard time sleeping. Nothing is actually fixing the problem. Maybe you're even starting to dread bedtime because you already know what's coming. You know you're going to be laying there staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. again, counting sheep. Has any of that resonated with you? If it has, you are in the right place. And I want you to know this. It's not in your head. It's not just part of getting older. You don't just have to deal with it. There's a real reason that this is happening. And that is what we are going to talk about today. And like I said, I know how this feels because I have lived through every single one of those scenarios. And specifically in my early 40s, I felt like I was doing everything right. I was a personal trainer. I was coaching at a gym. I was eating healthy. I was tracking my macros. I was working out constantly. I mean, from the outside, I looked like I was the perfection of health, right? And I was a health coach. So I was supposed to have all the answers. I was telling other people how they were supposed to improve their health. But I still couldn't sleep through the night, still was waking up sweating. I would wake up at 3 a.m., could not go back to sleep. And I would eventually just get up and go drink coffee because I thought that was what time my body was wanting to get up. Night sweats, again, like I said, I was having night sweats that were so embarrassing. I would wake up drenched. I would have to put a towel down. I would have to change the top sheet, change my clothes. It was embarrassing because I'd have to sometimes wake up my husband to change the sheets. I was often so exhausted all day long, and then I would be wired at night. Like I said, lay down, read a book, start to fall asleep, and then all of a sudden my heart would be racing and I'd be jolted awake. I would fall asleep on the couch. I've told this story before. If you know me, you may have heard this story that I even fell asleep in the pickup line waiting for my son to get out of school, completely passed out. People that were walking by probably thought I was dead. So definitely crashing in the afternoons. And I was running on coffee and cortisol. I would rely constantly on coffee. I was craving sugar, and which I later learned this was only making things worse, drinking more caffeine. And honestly, as a personal trainer, as a health coach, I was embarrassed because I felt like I should know how to fix this, but nothing I was doing was working, because I didn't yet understand what was actually happening inside of my body. And everything I tried was not working. Melatonin, cutting caffeine, no screens before bed. I would do chamomile tea. I would take a bath. I tried to go to bed earlier. None of these things were working for me. And these are all the things that I was telling my clients to do. It wasn't until I stopped trying to treat the symptoms and started looking at the root cause when I ran functional labs and was able to finally get answers about what was actually happening inside of my body at this age. That's when everything changed. That's when everything clicked. Because here's what I discovered. And this is the thing that most women have never been told before. The middle of the night waking, that mind racing, the heart racing, being jolted awake, the night sweats, they aren't actually sleep problems. They're hormone problems. And there are three specific drivers behind these sleep issues or these hormone issues. The three, once you understand which one of these drivers is yours or which combination is yours, you can actually start to fix it. And that's what we're going to cover now. So, for most of the women that I've worked with, and for myself included, that are in perimenopause or in menopause, there tends to be three contributing reasons why you're waking up at night or having sleep issues. So we're going to go through each of these reasons. Number one, blood sugar crashes. Number two, cortisol surges. And number three, progesterone decline. And I will be honest with you, I had all three of these. And I bet you, and as we go through these, that you will fall into one of these three categories or multiple ones. So as we go through them, I want you to really be honest with yourself about which of these symptoms sound familiar to you. Again, most women resonate with at least one of these primary drivers, sometimes two, sometimes even three, like I did. And knowing which one is yours is the first step to actually fixing it. So step one, stabilize. We are going to talk about stabilizing your blood sugar because blood sugar crashes are a huge reason why you're waking up in the middle of the night. Your blood sugar crashing at 2 a.m. and your body is sounding the alarm. So pay attention to these symptoms and see if this sounds like you. You wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. Maybe you're hungry, maybe you're shaky, or maybe your heart is pounding. This is a sign that your blood sugar is crashing. Or you eat a light dinner or skip evening snacks because you're trying to be good. Maybe you're not getting enough calories in, and so your blood sugar is crashing. Or if you rely on caffeine and sugar to get you through the day, this can definitely contribute to blood sugar crashes. You wake up feeling like you haven't slept, even though you've been in bed for 7 to 8 hours. I see this a lot with women who track their sleep and they're like, hey, I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep or even more than that, but they're still exhausted. Well, they might not be getting enough of the right type of sleep because your blood sugar is crashing. Here's a big one. You notice you actually sleep better on nights that you ate more. That's your body telling you something. So, what's actually going on? When your blood sugar drops too low in the middle of the night, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline to bring it back up. That hormone surge is what wakes you up, heart pounding, mind racing, completely unable to get back to sleep. And this is one of the most common and most overlooked causes of that 3 a.m. waking during perimenopause. The most frustrating thing is that most women are doing things they think are actually healthy, but it's making this worse. Mistakes like eating a light dinner, thinking it's a healthier choice when your dinner might be too small or too low in carbs or not enough fat. This can cause the blood sugar to drop overnight, and it's triggering that 3 a.m. wake up. Or going to bed hungry, skipping an evening snack or skipping dinner even because you're trying to cut calories. Your brain runs on glucose 24/7. If it runs too low at 2 a.m., your body's going to wake up to fix it. Every single time it will wake up at 2 a.m. So making sure you're getting in enough calories, not just at dinner, but throughout the day. Maybe you eat really early, having your last meal, at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., and then you're going to bed at 9 p.m. That 4 hour or more gap between your meal and going to bed can be a huge reason that you're waking up. It's causing your blood sugar to crash. A lot of women are told to cut their eating window off early and to practice intermittent fasting. And the truth is, this longer gap, the higher the crash during those early morning hours. Or this is a big one. You got to have that mommy juice, right? Or we need to have that nightly wine to help us relax. Relying on that glass of wine to help wind you down, or drinking alcohol in the evening, even in moderation, can cause a blood sugar rebound in the middle of the night. This is one of the biggest hidden triggers that nobody's really talking about. And lastly, if you're doing intense cardio or even just a workout later in the day that, pumps you up and increases your cortisol, spikes your adrenaline, depletes your glycogen stores, and it sets you up for an evening crash overnight, especially in perimenopause when your hormones are already shifting. If any of those really hit home to you, this could be the area that you really want to focus on. Blood sugar crashes. We need to stabilize blood sugar. This is a big, big issue with a lot of women in perimenopause. But let's talk about driver number 2. So, step 2 is signal. This one is all about your cortisol. Sometimes your nervous system doesn't know it's time to go to sleep because of dysregulated cortisol. It thinks you're still in crisis mode. And so, let me show you what this is going to look like. This might be you. Pay attention here. And again, be honest with yourself if you're experiencing any of these symptoms. You can't fall asleep because your brain just won't shut off, even though your body's exhausted, that tired but wired feeling. Or you feel tired but completely drained. Or completely drained. You're unable to even relax throughout the day. You cannot calm down and relax. You wake up in the middle of the night with that anxious thoughts. You're worrying about something that you really shouldn't be worried about at 2 a.m. Your mind's racing. You're replaying conversations you had with people and you can't get back to sleep because your mind just won't shut off. Or maybe you feel like you can never fully decompress, even on weekends or days off. You always feel like there's this underlying feeling of being on and go, 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 go mode, right? This is very common with type A personalities. And this was me, always in go, go, go mode. This one's a huge telltale sign of cortisol dysregulation, is that you wake up at the same time almost every single night like clockwork. It's consistently 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. or maybe it's even 4 a.m. That's likely a cortisol issue that's showing that we've got some dysregulated cortisol that's causing you to wake up. Here's what's actually happening in your body in regards to cortisol. Cortisol is supposed to follow a natural rhythm. It should be lowest at night and then gradually rising in the morning. But in perimenopause, especially when you're running on chronic stress, that rhythm gets flipped. And oftentimes it's low in the morning and then high in the evening, or surging between 2 and 4 a.m., waking you up and making it nearly impossible to fall back asleep. Your nervous system is stuck in survival mode and it needs a clear signal that the day is over and it's safe to rest and reset. So, if you're here thinking, okay, that kind of sounds like that could be me, but I'm not under stress. So I don't think that's me because I'm not stressed. So my cortisol can't be dysregulated. I want you to really pay attention and see if you relate to any of the following. The most common mistake I see with cortisol dominant women is that they're scrolling through their phones right up until they're trying to fall asleep. It's not just the blue light that's suppressing the melatonin here, it's the mental stimulation that is damaging your brain. It's getting your brain excited. You get a new notification, you see something funny on Instagram. These are signaling to your brain that it's excited, it's wake up time, and and then you cannot power down. Or maybe you're that busy mom, maybe you're working, maybe you're managing the household, homeschooling your kids. Your brain never gets a signal that the day is done and it's safe to rest. This is that person that's lying in bed going through your to-do list. Did you schedule the appointments? Did you buy the teacher gift? Did you get the birthday gift? Did you send out the birthday invitations? This is a common issue with busy moms, whether you're a working mom or just a busy mom. Dysregulated cortisol is a huge issue. Or you're exhausted, and so you're drinking caffeine after 11 or 12 o'clock. Caffeine has a 5 to 7 hour half life. So if you have caffeine at 2 o'clock, it's still in your system at 9 p.m. And I want you to understand that some people are more reactive to caffeine. So even things like dark chocolate, green tea, these things that have a little bit of caffeine can still be triggering to you because you might have a higher sensitivity to caffeine. So it could be messing with your sleep, even though you don't feel that jitteriness from the caffeine. Or maybe you're doing, again, intense workouts in the afternoon, or maybe you're just getting back into exercising and you're not used to that adrenaline surge. But doing longer workouts or intense workouts, or even just working out late in the day, it can be spiking your cortisol when it's supposed to wind down. Again, don't get me wrong, exercise is very important for hormones, but it does spike cortisol. And this is where, lab testing can really come in handy because you can look at where your cortisol is spiking and dipping and where it's in a safe enough place for you to put your workouts. And lastly, you have no wind down routine. This is huge because a lot of women, again, busy moms or just women in general, you're go, 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 go all day. And then your only relaxation time is sitting in front of the TV, watching Netflix. That's not a true relaxation routine. Your body learns to sleep through consistent cues, the same way that Pavlov's dog learned to salivate at the bell. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a psychology thing. Without those cues, your nervous system stays activated. It doesn't know bedtime is coming. So this is a huge one. All of these are simple mistakes that cortisol dominant women are making. And if you're sitting there shaking your head that any of these really resonated with you, cortisol could be the factor in your sleep issues. And honestly, functional lab testing is the best way to figure out and learn your cortisol pattern so you can start working to regulate it. But let's dive into that last driver. And this one's really specifically tied to perimenopause and sleep issues. So step 3 is uncover. And this is about progesterone decline because progesterone is your body's natural sleep hormone. It has a calming, sedative effect on your brain and also brings joy and happiness to you. So it causes you to feel safe. In perimenopause, progesterone is the very first hormone to drop. When it goes, your deep sleep goes with it. So let's dive into this. This one might be you if you used to be a deep sleeper. I mean, nothing could wake you up, right? You were out like a light. Maybe you started to notice a shift after you had kids, but now you're like the lightest sleeper in the house. Any sound, any light, any movement, you wake up. That was me for sure. Or you wake up for no obvious reason, no racing mind, no sweats. You just wake up and you cannot get back to sleep. Or maybe you've noticed that you're more anxious or on the edge in ways that you never were before, especially if you start to notice this in the second half of your cycle. And this is where tracking your cycle and your symptoms can come in really handy, because that is a direct effect of or direct signal that your progesterone could be affecting your nervous system. Or your sleep has gotten progressively worse over the last 1 to 3 years with no big event, no clear explanation. It's just a steady decline that you cannot explain. And this one is a big one. You feel fine during the day, but nighttime is when everything falls apart. You're not stressed during the day, you have energy, you're not relying on caffeine, your nutrition's great, but at night, this is when everything falls apart. This was me. Here's what's actually going on. Like I said, progesterone has a calming sedative effect on the brain because it has something called GABA receptors. These are the same receptors that anti-anxiety SSRIs medications target. They're what make you feel calm and sleepy. When progesterone drops in perimenopause, that natural sedative disappears and sleep becomes lighter, becomes more interrupted, and no amount of melatonin or magnesium is going to fully fix it because you're not addressing the root cause. And again, this is where testing can become really important, because guessing which hormone is off and by how much isn't something any of us can do from the outside. This is where we actually need the data to tell us what's going on with our estrogen and our progesterone and our DHEA and our testosterone, what's going on with them in our body, so that we can get really specific about how to support it. So now that we've gone over those 3 categories of major sleep disruptors that most women fall into, which one is yours? Did any of those really stick out to you? Was it stabilize, signal, or uncover? Maybe it was a little bit of 2 of them. Maybe like me, it was all 3 of them. It's really common that you fall into at least 1 or 2. Most women have a primary driver with a second layer underneath, which is exactly why that generic sleep advice that you've been trying to use, like just take melatonin, just add in magnesium, they don't fix what's actually going in your body, because we have to get specific. Going to bed earlier isn't going to fix a blood sugar crash. We need to know if that's the issue, right? Just taking magnesium isn't going to fix low progesterone. We need to know, do we have low progesterone? How can we support that? We need to know what's actually driving your sleep issues. And that's exactly what I want to help you to figure out. So I want you to take a second, close your eyes maybe, and imagine this with me. Visualize this. Imagine sleeping through the night, actually through the night, a full 8 hours of sleep for the first time in years. Imagine what that could actually feel like. Imagine waking up feeling rested instead of already counting down the seconds to your next coffee. Imagine going to bed without dread, without that low level anxiety that starts building around 9 p.m. because you already know that's what's coming. Imagine just trusting your body knows the plan. It knows how to go to sleep again. You don't have to rely on sleep medications or melatonin. You know, I'm going to go get a great night of sleep. Imagine having lasting energy that sticks with you all day long. No afternoon energy crash, no relying on sugar, no white knuckling it until 3 p.m. until you can get your afternoon caffeine boost. Just steady, consistent energy. Imagine feeling calm in your body, not wired, not jittery, not like you're one bad email away from losing it, just calm and stable. And imagine finally knowing what's actually going on in your body and having a plan that's specific to you. No more shooting arrows in the dark. No more guessing. Should I take this supplement? Should I try this? Should I cut out this food? Not a generic plan, an actual plan that is specific to you based on your hormones, based on your history, based on your body. That's what becomes possible when you stop guessing and start getting real answers. And that's what I want to help you with. So here's what I'd love to offer to you. I'm opening up a handful of free hormone clarity calls, private one-on-one conversations with me where we look at exactly what's going on in your body and map out what you actually need. You may have heard, these different areas. You may have listened to this call and been like, that could be me or that could be me. I want to help to figure out which category you fall into, which primary driver you fall under, and then I'm going to help you to get a clear plan in place that is really going to help to support you. And I want to be really clear about something before I tell you more about this call. This call is not a sales call. I'm not going to pitch you at the end. There's no pressure to buy anything, no agenda other than helping you to get clarity on what's actually happening in your body and what to do about it. So this call's for you. If you've watched this training and you thought, yeah, that's me. If you've recognized yourself in at least one of those drivers, I want you to book this call. I want you to book this call if you're tired of guessing and trying things that don't work for your body at this stage in your life. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and finally get clear answers into what's actually off in your body. If you want someone to look at your full picture, not just hand you a generic cookie cutter plan. I want to give you a full picture and a full plan as to what we can actually do to target your specific body. And this is for you if you're a woman between 35 and 55 who is done settling, done taking advice from 20-year-olds on Instagram or your neighbor who tried this or your sister-in-law who took this pill, done settling for broken sleep and not feeling like yourself. This is for you if you're ready for something different. Here's what we'll actually do on your call. First, we're going to go through your full health history. I want a complete download of every diet you've tried, what worked, what didn't, how your body responded. I want to know everything about your full health history, what's going on, because context is absolutely everything when it comes to hormones. And I want to look at your current routine. What are you doing for food, for fitness, for energy, for sleep? What's working? What's not working? Do you have any injuries? Do you have any past surgeries? What are your daily patterns? And we're going to identify exactly where things are breaking down and how we can kind of target those specific areas. We're going to talk about stress, about your day-to-day schedule. Do we have any food sensitivities and the hormone shifts that you're starting to notice? We want all of it. All of it is data and all of it matters. And then I'm going to walk you through, again, the sleep drivers, the 3 sleep drivers that we covered. And I want to help decide which one is the number one sleep driver that you're dealing with based on your symptoms, based on your specific history, based on you. And you're going to walk away with concrete steps, not just vague suggestions, not a cookie cutter program, actual action steps that are specific to you that you can start right away so you can stop guessing and start making real progress. And again, I want to say this one more time. It's not a sales call. There's no pitch at the end of it. There's no pressure to buy. This is me giving you my full attention, asking the right questions, connecting the dots, and telling you what I actually what I actually see for you to help you to get the results. You're going to walk away knowing what's going on, what to fix first, and what your smartest move is next. That's it. That's the whole point of this call. So if you are ready to book that call, I'm going to be sending out an email. There are just a handful of these calls available. Spots are limited. It's a private one-on-one session with me, and I only open it up a handful of times. When they are gone, they are gone. I'll have you fill out a short intake form, and so that I can come to the call ready to be fully prepared to help you and hit the ground running. From the minute that we start the call, we're going to make the most of our time together. And I'll say it one last time because I do think it's worth saying. The longer you wait to figure out what's broken, the longer it stays broken. Look, your sleep matters, your energy matters, you matter. And this is something that's going to help you to fix your sleep, fix your body, and feel so much better. So I cannot wait to dig in with you. Check your inbox for that email so that you can book your call, and I will see you soon.